Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have another book review for you, and it is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. This is the third David Mitchell I've actually read, the first being Black Swan Green, the link's above me after that review, and the second being Slade House, which again there's a link above to that review. The Bone Clocks comes after Slade House. All David Mitchell books are semi-linked in the Mitchell universe, but Slade House and the Bone Clocks are the same sort of subject matter, and the Bone Clocks goes deeper into detail about what Slade House hints upon. As always with my book review, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Before we get into that, don't forget if you like what you see to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Run away one drowsy summer's afternoon with Holly Sykes, wayward teenager, broken-hearted rebel, an unwitting pawn in a titanic hidden conflict. Over 6 decades, the consequences of a moment's impulse unfold, drawing an ordinary woman into a world far beyond her imagining. And as life in the near future turns perilous, the pledge she made to a stranger may become the key to her family's survival. And there are reviews on the back as well. We have Mitchell is funny, hip and full of life, a beautiful explosion of adventurous ideas. That's from Melissa Katsolis, The Times. An extraordinary piece of storytelling, that's Andrew Nether, Evening Standard Books of the Year. Combines fantastic inventiveness with depth and heart, that's Justine Jordan, Guardian Books of the Year. And a return to the exuberance and genre hopping of Cloud Atlas and a proper page turner, and that's Stephanie Merritt, Observer Books of the Year. So this was actually a book club read for me. It was Matt's choice. Matt is an avid David Mitchell fan, so I am slowly working my way through them. I do have quite a few quotes from this book, so I'll go into those first. Page 35 to 36. I shift a fraction and Brubeck gasps in pain. I risk whispering, "Are you okay?" "No, you're crushing my nuts since you asked." You can adopt. I love Brubeck and Holly Sykes when they're together. They're just so sweet. So this book is split into stories as it says in the blurb. And the first story follows Holly Sykes as a teenager in 1984. She's 15 years old and running away from home and has an ex-boyfriend. It hints that she is pregnant. David Mitchell is just proving how good of a writer they are here, because I was just so annoyed at Holly Sykes. The immaturity, the stupid reactions, and just, yeah, it's good writing, pardon me, because as an adult, if you look at a child or teenage person and think, why are you being so silly? But then a kid would read the book and agree with them. It's good writing. So Mitchell is writing Holly Sykes really well, but it meant I really didn't like the start of the book. I liked it when it got weird though in this first part. The second story, page 100. It's pretty much 100 pages per section, roughly. But page 100. Here, it gets to work on the knot of gut worry I've been suffering from since my zone out in the chapel earlier. I just like David Mitchell's way of writing that. It's an interesting way to write. The idea of a gut worry, I enjoyed. Page 123. Ow, I complain, enjoying the pain. Is that Portuguese for "the earth moved for me, my lord and master, how was it for you"? We're following Hugo Lamb now, and this is a student in 1991. Hugo Lamb is actually a recurring character. They first appear in Black Swan Green. And I believe Hugo is one of the characters that Mitchell actually does an error for. I can't remember if it's a hair colour change or something, but Hugo Lamb's here, and I loved Hugo Lamb. I shouldn't, but I do. It's just so sarky and really depicts a private schoolboy. Page 175. When a woman is interested in you, she'll let you know. If not, there's no aftershave, gift or line you can spin to make her change her mind. Yes, no means no. Thank you, Mitchell. Page 150. Then I'm waking up in the very same garret, groinally attached to a mystifying down horn as big as a cruise missile. A beautiful description of a hard-on in the morning. Page 151. In this, we revisit Black Swan Green to remind us our protagonist is the one who gave our Black Swan Green protagonist a cigarette, so just giving you the hint and link there between the two books. And finally, page 165, I encounter an Armadi-clad stoner known as Dominic Fitzsimmons. He smoked a joint earlier, and his habitual sharp-wittedness has bungee jumped from the bridge and is yet to return. I really just love that way of describing that. It just is mate's high. We then go to 2004, and so far it's my favourite story. It's from Brubeck's point of view and what they become as an adult, and it swaps between attending a wedding in the present time and being a photographer or journalist in the war in Iraq. I haven't got any quotes for this, but it is like one of my favourite sections. The fourth section is from Crispin Hershey, who is a writer who's very, I don't want to say self-loathing, but they're an interesting character. On page 382, we have some great writing advice from Hershey, which is adverbs are cholesterol in the veins of prose. I found that Crispin just really grows on you as a character. When you first read about him, you don't like him, but then as their story goes on, you do grow to like them, and I like that character arc, and I like the relationship he has with Holly. It just feels quite wholesome. We then go on to Marinus, and this is where you get a lot more supernatural. Page 418 is just another example of Mitchell's great description. At the base of a trunk, the girth of a brontosaurus's leg. Where does it come from? And then page 487, an iced 17 on a birthday cake. Further, an abortionist clinic in the shadow of Wembley Stadium. It confirms I was right that she was pregnant. And then the climax and final bit of the book is just, it made me cry, okay? That's my quotes. I know I just sort of zoomed through those there, but I don't want to give too much away because each section in this book, you know, we're jumping forward in time, a bit like Cloud Atlas, and it did make me cry in the last section. It's very interesting to read. In the book club, some people found it confusing. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't confused. I would read it again, I think, just to see what other nuggets I can find. And I did like the links back to Black Swan Green and back to Slade House. We also have the appearance of the Moon Grey Cat, which is a staple of David Mitchell's writing. The Moon Grey Cat seems to always show up at some point in his books. Everything was foreshadowed throughout superbly, even though it's supposed to confuse you a bit. It is technically foreshadowed. The prose were fantastic. I just love Mitchell's way of writing. It's sort of a little link between literary and fiction. It just, it bridges a gap in there. It did take time for me to get into the first 3 sections. It felt a little bit like a slog because it felt like 3 different books. So every section you were having to learn a new character and a new date and everything like that. And then during the 3rd, they started to link. And by the 4th, I was more invested. So you just have to get through that. It does all link up, even though it doesn't feel like it at the start. My overall review for enjoyment, I gave it 9 out of 10. Writing style 10, plot 8, world building 10, characterization 10, representation 9, and originality 10. Overall, I gave it 5 stars out of 5. I can't say too much because I think too much in this book, although it doesn't seem linked, it is linked. It is a book I would recommend. It's a book you need to be ready to read. It's not a simple, easy read. You do have to be invested, and it is long. It is, how many pages? It is 613 pages, so it's a bit of a hefty book. So you do have to be invested, but I did love it. Yeah, 5 stars. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post your bookish pictures as well as more tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!